I'm going to mute everyone. Gladys, you need to unmute.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
1 second, Gladys. 1 second. Wait for Marty to record this webinar.
It shows it's recording. I don't know.
The live streaming is okay. Go ahead. It's Marty. We're recording, right? I believe we are. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening around the world. We welcome you today to this ONPASSIVE Kenyan webinar, which is open to all the founders and the guests. So we are glad to have you here. But before we begin, as you are aware, we lost one of our great leaders in ONPASSIVE, Mrs. Bakau. So I ask that we all take a minute to remember her for all that she has done, her commitment, and more so, for her legacy and for God to comfort her family. So let's take please a moment of silence. May our sister Susan Bakau rest in peace. So as we gather here today, we are going to talk about ONPASSIVE, and we have our engineer Mike, I see is on, so welcome. I know I did not welcome you before. But before engineer Mike talks about how to get a good website, a perfect domain name, I would like to speak today about ONPASSIVE and why it's very, very important, if possible, around the globe for each house, each family, to secure a founding member position, because ONPASSIVE is a business that was created by our CEO and is being built by our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, who has studied extensively about technology, about internet marketing, about why people succeed and why some people do not succeed. As he says, 97% of the people who try to explore online marketing, they fail. 97% fail and only 3% are successful. As founders, I know many of you have tried different businesses that did not work before. And for that reason, many people have a certain already preconceived idea about how online or internet marketing cannot be successful. But our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, who is a graduate from MIT and also has done courses at Harvard, is a very good expert in online marketing, in technology, and is working towards bridging the big gap that we know is between human beings, people, and technology. He is trying to narrow that. And he looked for a way, how can he help the 97% who never make it online to succeed? So he came up with this business, which is called ONPASSIVE, 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 which is a company that is a complete ecosystem that is automated. I can break it down to my people in Kenya. It's automatic. A company that does everything for you in terms of advertising, in terms of marketing, in terms of recruiting for you, in terms of building your business, and in terms of collecting for you revenue. When the clients come in to use our services and products in ONPASSIVE, when they purchase the packages or when they buy those services and products, the revenue that ONPASSIVE earns Ashim Fare has, who is our CEO, has said is going to give a certain percentage and a generous percentage to the founders. That's why I'm compelled today to encourage any family that is out there that has not secured a founding position to try their best, whether it means coming together as a family, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people to sign up as a founder. ONPASSIVE has legit and much needed tools, products, and services that every business needs to succeed online. And this business ONPASSIVE, there is no specific criteria that you have to meet to become a founder. It's a business open for children, for adults, for the elderly. My mom is an elderly person. She's 80, but she's a founder. I have children, 6 years old and 11 years old. They are founders. Because ONPASSIVE is a business that is building a legacy, that if you become a founder, your position, your business is willable. When time comes, I mean, we will not live forever in this world. Our next life will be in the, when we die and move on. When that time comes, I am comfortable that my business will be passed to my children, to their children, and to their children's children, to the 3rd and 4th generation and beyond. So it's not just a program that will end when you go. No, this is a business that is a business of legacy. Many of us, I can speak, it's this webinar is open, but I know there are many in here who can relate with me, that we grew up with limited resources, that we didn't have the luxury that other, developed countries had, but still, we managed to make it. Just because we managed to make it, we don't want to keep that legacy of poverty going from one generation to the other. We want to change the story of our families. We want to change the lives of our families. And I believe that being a founder in ONPASSIVE, this is my pathway for me to change the legacy of my family. And I am a proud founder because I know that our parents worked so hard to raise us with the little that they had. They did the best that they knew how. My own life, I'm here today because God used somebody to hold my hand. My parents loved me so much, but they could not afford to pay my tuition of high school. But by the grace of God, our priest in our local parish in Kenya took my hand and found me a sponsor, and my tuition was paid 100%. And that's the heart that Ash has. He's a man who loves humanity. He said in his own webinar that he would like to make 100 Mother Teresas. For those who know Mother Teresa, she is a woman, a Catholic nun who loved charity so much. Religion is not a factor in ONPASSIVE. We don't label people by their religion, where they come from. We don't label people because of their educational background. All religions, we are a family. We are a movement. And because of the passion that Ash has for humanity, to do something good to humanity, to reduce poverty, he has said himself from his own mouth, he might not change, he knows he will not change the whole world, but he believes strongly that us ONPASSIVE founders, under his vision, with our complete commitment, we can create a dent in poverty, which means we can do something. I have come across founders in ONPASSIVE. We are more than 1 million founders. We are almost close to 1.2 million founders. But these founders, they are so passionate. I will say that more than 90% of the founders in ONPASSIVE, they are very passionate in doing something beyond themselves, because our CEO gave us a vision of life being better when you live beyond yourself. He has encouraged us. I remember he said in one webinar again, he has given us the mantle of love. the mantle of sharing, and he wants us to go on with that. And so as founders, we have a platform in ONPASSIVE that he has created for us that is called Oh Bless. Oh Bless is where Mr. Ash Mufare, our CEO, is convinced that it will help us to be able to achieve our dreams, to be able to impact people's lives positively. We might not change the whole world, as he says, but surely we can do something. We are ONPASSIVE family. An ONPASSIVian who is a founder in the US, or in Kenya, or in Nigeria, or in Ghana, or in Asia, will not see a child suffering in another part of the world and not to help. Just to speak about the Africans ONPASSIVians globally, we are in different groups, so different countries forming different groups. But as Africa, we have decided to come together as missionaries of Africa because we want to do something together, united, without discrimination. That's why it's very important to join this movement, because the time is limited. I kept comforting myself saying, when I share and the people are not ready to join, I used to say, that's fine. When we launch, when I give them my feedback, you know how I'm earning, they will come in. But having learned the last few weeks that this position of being a founder will not be existing anymore. Whoever will come after we launch will not be a founder. So I'm now trying as much to reach out to my fellow Kenyans, to my fellow, the people who are in my life, to become founders, because they don't have to advertise. All that the CEO has asked us is you have to know your back office, meaning your virtual office in ONPASSIVE where you log in, because if you don't know, how are you going to transfer your money when you earn from ONPASSIVE to your bank? But he's doing the advertising, creating funnels, advertising 24/7. He has an automated system in ONPASSIVE called OChat. OChat is like your personal secretary or your personal employee who will be working for you. Once you sign up, advertising for you, welcoming the customers. When the customers try to go online to find out what ONPASSIVE has, this is our virtual Sona, it's called Sona, which is OChat, will be answering them. And once they come and sign up, Sonia is the one who is making sure things are moving to the right place. And when I wake up in the morning, I just log to my virtual office and I see what I've earned overnight. And that's the beauty of life. Everything automated. You don't have to worry that when you come in, you will not be able to make money because you don't know how to recruit, because that's what Ash has committed to do for us, creating funnels for us, advertising for us, selling for us, and building our teams. We have so many people suffering in the world, and not only in Africa, even here in America, we have homeless people. And we know Ash is very passionate. As a matter of fact, I think it's about a month ago or so, he went to visit Michigan. He is so committed to reduce homelessness. He might not eliminate it, but we know that through ONPASSIVE and through the vision of Ash Mufare, many homeless people are going to have a place to sleep. Many homeless people are going to have soap to shower. They are going to have food to eat. And actually, through the founders who have created, are planning to come together, they have started already, they are going to find a way, a pathway of these homeless people forward, so that they don't only give them a house to sleep there, but also they can be rehabilitated. They can be given some basic courses that can help them to be much more independent. In ONPASSIVE, we have the e-learning platform, which is Academy, for my fellow teachers around the world, and especially in Kenya, who have been waking up faithfully every morning, going to teach in classes, teaching students. This is the time for you to start putting your courses together. Pick if you want to form a course to teach standard 1. The world is becoming much more closer through technology. ONPASSIVE is a business which is futuristic. It's embedded with AI, artificial intelligence. And Ash, as we know, he's always ahead. He works from ahead. You know, he knows where technology is going to be in 5, 10 years. That's why right now, and I can tell he feels it. He feels sad about it because he was telling us to enlarge our vision. Because we are thinking about now, but we need to think about tomorrow. We need to think about a few years to come, 5 years to come. Technology is not going to be as far, or online learning is not going to be as strange as it seems now. So for the teachers who are founders, and for those who are guests, who are not founders already, when you sign up to become a founder, and it's only $97 to be a founder, plus $5 from whichever country you come from to secure that position. Then there is another fee that we are going to pay when we go now, we launch globally so that the company starts working for you, which we don't know the figure yet, but thinking probably it might be around 200 to 300 or 400 once, and you will never pay again dollars. You will never pay again out of pocket. So who becomes a business owner that is so big as this with that amount of money? Let's be honest. We have about 50 products. Already we have 7, already introduced. Those products are standalone. They can be standalone businesses because they are huge and they are multi-billion-dollar products. So how do you become, or how do I become a founder with paying once out of pocket and never to pay again and a complaint? Seriously, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I wish people could see this. For the people who do baking, in Kenya, chapati, tunapika chapati, I'm speaking a little bit of Swahili for my people. Tunapika chapati, ile chapati unapika through ONPASSIVE. We have products that you can use to advertise everything in one platform. You don't have to go doing it on your side. You advertise right there. You can make the video right there. You can text, you can advertise by the chat there. You can have your student, you can sell your course there online, being hosted by ONPASSIVE. Who can beat that? And we can continue having this conversation. The time is limited now. But the moment you become a founder, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a tip of the iceberg. And I would like us, I encourage us to move to ahead. Let's not think now. That's why Ash mentioned something, and I believe it's going to be true. He said some of you will log to your back office in the morning when you wake up. And I'm afraid that some might go running outside naked without a shirt. And I will not be surprised if that happens. You know why? Because we have limited our vision to where we are now. We are seeing the challenges we are seeing now. But until we move beyond this present time to the future, it's going to be a shock. But right now, that's why I'm encouraging people. Start seeing that it's here. It's not a dream anymore. It's a done deal. They are migrating our data. Imagine we want to have our own data center. Some people are concerned, oh, it's a scam, my information will be stolen. ONPASSIVE is making its own data centers. They have started already migrating the data to our own data center because Ash believes he wants to be secure. Everything has to be secured to ensure maximum number of security because he knows how big ONPASSIVE is. For those who have seen the vision, I'm telling you, they are not sleeping. Those who have seen the vision, and I'm one of them, I always talk about it. I talk about it. Anytime anybody asks me what I think about it, I can feel it. I can see it. And until you feel it and see it, you might not catch it. Unfortunately, the time will be out. I believe that once we launch, even the soft launch itself, people are going to start running to come. And the fear that I have, because our CEO has mentioned that we don't need more founders, he might say, this is it. because he has said he wants a million Mother Teresa's, and we are more than a million. We are close to 1.2 million now. I won't be surprised if he says this is it for founders, no more founders. So please, this is the time to come in, secure your position, get in touch with the person who invited you here. I believe that whoever is here, you are not here by accident. You are here by assignment. I have said it before and I will say it again. God does things, but he uses people to do things. And we are the people. When ONPASSIVE, will ask yourself this question: what if ONPASSIVE became as famous as Amazon, or more than famous as Amazon? What will you say to your children? Especially for those loved ones who are shared this opportunity with the loved ones, but the loved ones don't want to hear it because they don't see the vision. What are you going to tell your children when you see your brother or your sister living so well, and yet you were told and you didn't accept it? What if your sister who is telling you to join now and you are saying no? A couple of years coming, you find she has her retirement secured, or even she's a millionaire. Are you going to hate her? Are you going to be sad with her? Why she did not push you? In ONPASSIVE, we don't push people. We just share the true vision from our hearts. And everybody that I brought in, I have told them. I have known the CEO from 2018 July when the business started. I can say he's a straightforward and honest man. But I can tell you exactly what I know from my heart. And it's upon you to decide. So today I'm here again to pour my heart one more time, because I believe that next year I'll be speaking a different story. I'll be saying, I told you so. So I urge you to go back to the person who invited you and don't be left out, my people. If I had a way to speak to each of you one by one, I will go to each family one by one, knock the door and tell you, because I know what's coming. And what's coming is not a joke. What's coming is going to shake the world. And guess what? It's going to shake the world for the better. Many parents here have their children passed very well, but they were not able to take them to high school because they did not have money. Many of you here, your children passed very well, but you took them to the most affordable schools, which don't offer enough education for them to pass, which don't have access to facilities and to equipment for them to be able to study. Not because you did something wrong, because the system is not fair. You did the best that you could. Most of you here, your children or you as a family, you give your children 1 meal a day so that they can sleep at night, because you cannot afford 3 meals a day. Most of you here, you have children, but you have no time with them because you have to go to work, because you have to feed them, and you have to pay bills because you don't have another source of income. Most of you dads here, you work long hours, or moms, your children don't see you, not because you have not done anything wrong, but because you are doing the best that you can. Most of you here, your relationship in the family is broken because of always fighting about money, not having enough. Most of you, your self-esteem has been crushed because you feel that you are not able to provide enough. But this is the business that is allowing that you can own a business without knowing the technicalities of it. It's being hosted for you. Everything is being done for you. All that you need to do is to come in, secure a position, and become a founder. And the rest is history. We love one another in ONPASSIVE. I started the Zoom of the Kenyan Zoom, and I've received a lot of support from Leadership Council. people I'd never spoken to. But every time I reached out, they responded to the call. They said yes, because they want you to come in. That's who we are. I handle many founders who are not even in my team, some from different parts of the world. Not because I want them in my team, but because I want them successful. Because I know that anyone who catches the vision of ONPASSIVE will do something good beyond themselves. Life is beautiful when you share. And when you share, there's always a blessing in giving. So we are a movement, we are working together, and we want to succeed together. Our CEO has said, no one will be left behind. He's always encouraging us to be our brothers and our sisters' keepers. And that's who we should be. That's what ONPASSIVE is. We are one family united in love, and we want to have, if possible, every house in Kenya. If you are here and if you ever come across this website, this recording, sorry, on YouTube, it will be on YouTube. If you come across it, please ask, what is ONPASSIVE? What is ONPASSIVE? Reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. If you are a founder already, bring your family along. Don't be the only one who is a founder. If you can afford another account, if you can support your sister or your brother, that time of being the only one in the family that everybody looks up to is gone. It should be gone. There's no reason why every human being should not live a dignified life. Dignity is key. How beautiful it is for a family when you come together and you go out to eat and you each can chip in to pay the bill. Those days of going out and one person pays the bill for everybody should be gone. And do you know how it will be gone? Is through joining ONPASSIVE. Because Ash believes that everybody has something to give. He believes that people can be something if they are given an opportunity. And that's what he's giving us. He's giving us an opportunity. He believes that internet marketing or being wealthy is not for the chosen few. We are not here because we have been chosen. We are here because the vision was exposed to us and we said yes, we saw it. So I hope that you can see it too. I hope that you can see it. And I encourage those who are already founders, go plug in and get one product and read it. If you can be able to read and understand. If you realize only the magnitude of one product or two in ONPASSIVE, you will not even care about the other 48 because you know that your future is secured. Thank you so much for this time. We will preserve the questions to the end, but please, you know I can talk forever, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to reserve the rest for me to speak to you when you become a founder. So if you want to be a founder, please get back to the person who invited you here. And if you feel that your question has not been asked regarding how to become a founder, you can post it on the chat. Thank you so much. Love you all. Mwah. More Kenyan families, become founders. And to all the other founders from the world, love you, love you, love you, love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gladys. You're just amazing. You speak from the heart, and your message is just powerful and compelling. So we thank you very much for sharing with us. It was awesome. At this time, we would like to have engineer Mike Ojangtambia. He is going to be presenting domain names and how to choose the perfect domain name. So let's let him take the floor now.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, Lynn?
Yes, we hear you loudly and clearly.
Okay, Auntie Linda Nakamura. And Gladys, that was, I mean, you always drive it home, right? So that's the reason for us facilitators when we come to these webinars. We really drive it down to our people so that they see the kind of heart that we have. So that is perfect. Thank you very much for sharing with us today. Now, for everybody here, I want to thank the Leadership Council members who are here, all the leaders from all over the world. I can see so many old winners in the house. Thank you, people, for your support by supporting us with the small Kenyan family so that we can make them have more founders. We can see people all over the world. So we want to talk about domain name. What's even a domain name? The domain name comes from, there is a system called DNS. So DNS means domain name system or domain name server. So what is this domain name server? And what is it important? Why should we know it? The reason we should know it is because a domain name system, it is like the internet book, the internet phone book. Okay, it's like a phone book of the internet. So what does it do? The DNS has two ways or two things that it does. Okay, remember when you go and you type, you want ONPASSIVE.com on the network or on the browser, it takes you to a website. So before it reaches to that website, it has some things that it do. It does some things before it can get you to that website. So how does it do it? Now you will type ONPASSIVE.com and it will be translated into into numbers. Okay, the system understands numbers. It doesn't understand any other too much, whatever you give to it. So it will translate these IP addresses that you give to it, for instance, and translate them to host names. Okay. Now, the other thing it does reverse of it. It translates host names to IP addresses, then IP addresses to host names. So we have the forward zone and the backward zone or reverse zone. So the forward zone will be the IP addresses will be translated the IP addresses will be translated to host name, then host names will be translated to IP addresses in the reverse. That is how it functions, okay? So now, we have, when we talk about IP addresses, what are they even? So IP addresses are what is called the internet protocols, okay? We have internet protocol, IP addresses. These are unique identifiers of all your devices that you have in your house connected to your network. Okay, so IP addresses are a unique identifier of all your appliances that you are connected with them to your network, be it cell phones, be it televisions, be it laptops, be it desktops. All of them, we have a unique identifier, which will be that IP address. Now, so what are these IP addresses even used for? We have said it, they are unique identifiers. Now let's go, somebody is staying, let's say we have a street in Kenya, in Nairobi, which is called, let's say, Church Street in Nairobi, Church Street, Nairobi. And we have a house, that is house number 10, that belongs to my sister here, Gladys Nyaboro. Then we have another house, which is house number 14, that belongs to Miss Linda Nakamura. She lives there in Church Street in Kenya, in Nairobi. So there is no other person on that Church Street, which we have these house numbers that has been allocated to Miss Linda Nakamura, which is house number 14, and to our sister Gladys Nyaboro. No other person we have house number 10. It will be her house. So this is how the IP address functions. Okay, no device in your house can have the same IP address. If you have 100 gadgets, be them telephones, televisions, and iPads on your system, connected to your environment, they will have different IP addresses. So this is how good these things are, and we want to know a little bit about them. So us now coming, so if we know about how the DNS work, so what is now a domain name? A domain name is just the path or the way, connection, or your website name. Our domain name in ONPASSIVE is onpassive.com. You can have your own domain name for your own business and things like that. But this is the way that the system communicates with the browser. When you type in something, type the IP, the domain name, onpassive.com. It goes through those processes to bring you that website and bring you the information so that you can read it. How good is that? ONPASSIVE gonna brand every founder. Every one of us will have our own domain name. ONPASSIVE will be selling us to the world. ONPASSIVE will be selling our business to the world, branding us. Do you know how that sweet it is? You have your own business. So let's talk about like people who have 2, 3, 4 accounts in ONPASSIVE. It means you are going to be a CEO of those 4 accounts. But guess what? Not only 4 companies. Every company, every product in ONPASSIVE is a branded product, is a standalone. So we have 53 plus products. So let's say you have 4 accounts, okay? You are a CEO of 50 multiplied by 4, which is 200 countries, companies, sorry. You're a CEO of 200 companies, which is too much. People, we are in something that we don't ever know. So let's also talk about these IP addresses. How did they come to get them? Before we can continue to how you can get your own brand name. These IP addresses, we have some people they call they're like engineers, okay? They are engineers, networking engineers. They get this for us. Let's understand how they came up with this. What we say IP addresses, they have the IPv4, which is Internet Protocol version 4, is being given up, or they use them only in countries, okay, continents that have population less than 1 billion, okay? Populations less than 1 billion, they use IPv4. Then IPv6, which is Internet Protocol version 6, is used by other countries or continents that have population above 1 billion. So which are the populations that have the countries that have population less than 1 billion? If you look at it, you see the continent of Africa, you have Middle East, North and South America, Europe, and Australia. Now, the ones that have more than 1 billion is China, the Asia countries, China, Pakistan, and India. They have 1 billion plus. So they use that IPv6. So if you go to China, for instance, it's IPv6 you'll be using, Internet Protocol version 6. Now, if you go to Africa, North America, where we are, what you use is IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4, which means that your population is less than 1 billion. So we have said again, what is the domain name? The domain name is just the name of your website, okay? Just the name of your website. And we are interested in knowing this because ONPASSIVE gonna brand all of us, the founders. So if you are out there, you have not still gotten that position, Sister Gladys Nyaboro just told us, let's join together, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, even 5 people, even 10 people to get a founder account in ONPASSIVE. This will help us a lot because the company is branding us. The company is selling our brand to the world. It's making us known by the world. Sister Gladys just told you, ONPASSIVE might be one of the most popular companies in the world because we are coming big. We have 1 million plus founders. Now, so let's talk about the tricks or the techniques to get a brand, a name, to get your own domain name. So we should always try to do brandable over generic. What does that mean? So you brand yourself. Now, for instance, if we have somebody who is into fashion designing, okay, it is the person can say, okay, I will expand my business as I grow. So maybe if you start with fashion designing, you can just say, okay, fashion designer dot or fashion designer dot AI. Because most appropriately, if we look at the way ONPASSIVE is structured, might be our domain names will be taking .ai, most of it. And that's what we love. That is something that is not yet here in the what we are doing now. All other domains, you will not see .ai there. ONPASSIVE is bringing it out to the world. Isn't that not something that we should be proud about? Now, you should find more domain names by, you can create your own words, okay? You can use the words that already exist. And again, you can use the domain name generator. When I say create your words, we should be creative, right? So for instance, if I want to do some gold mining kind of business, let's say I can say gold mining product.ai. That can be my own domain name that I can select. And remember, our system is artificial intelligence driven, right? So it would propose you some domain names. If you like, you would take those ones. If you don't like them, you will propose your own names. Exactly. For instance, let's say I'm a fisherman down beach, Kenya, down beach in Nairobi, in the beach. I'm doing fishing. You know, in the evening, I go throw my net, put my net. In the morning, I go take off the net and see the fish that is there, and I sell them. I start selling them. I want to be selling it to a greater population. So what do? Maybe some days I go in the evening, the fish is bad, I have to throw it or just give it to people like that. But I want to monetize on this, my products, which is fish. What will I do? I can go now and create my website, okay? I can say, okay, Kenya Evening Fish.ai or Nairobi Evening Fish.ai. And I will be selling my fish online. So when ONPASSIVE brings artificial intelligence, it will drive traffic to my website and I will sell. All the ones that I was not monetizing on them, I will start monetizing because people will be buying. I will have more people to come buy my products. Another tip we should know, the third one is that we should better use a short domain name than a long one. Why? Because short is just cute. See our website, onpassive.com. So let's take example that our CEO, who is a genius of a marketer, use the word, let's say, ONPASSIVE product builders, or let's just say onpassiveproductbuilders.com. Do you see how complicated that is for me to even pronounce? onpassiveproductbuilders.com. That is too long. So he was that smart to give us this short and sweet one, onpassive.com. Boom, you click it, you're done. You go to the website and you see our products. Another one, you should make it very easy to type, okay? To type it. So how do we test this? When you see people in a group, you can say, okay, oh, I'm into business. Introduce yourself to them. I'm Michael Ojontambia. I'm into this business, new business. Please, I want you people to help me try to see if my domain name is easily spelled. Give 6 of them, for instance, and say, okay, they should spell it. So if some of them, let's say 2, 3, or even 4 of them, they can have a little bit of problems to spell that onpassiveproductmakers.com. Know that there's a problem. That website will be hardly known or understand by people. Okay. Now, the next one, it should be easily pronounced as well. It should be easily pronounced. Okay. So if it is easily pronounced, what does that mean? Still do that same test. Go out there and ask 6 people to pronounce your website or your domain name. If some of them still have trouble, even if it is 2 people, know that just go again, onpassiveproductmaking.com or compassiveproductmakingcompany.com. I mean, that kind of long thing, you have to modify it now. You have to refine it and change it, okay? Now, avoid hyphens as well, okay? Don't put hyphens in your domain names. Keep it short, letters. Don't use even numbers, okay? For instance, ONPASSIVE. Just imagine that I joined ONPASSIVE before Miss Lee Nakamura or my big brother there, Oliver Fonte. I come and meet them. I say, oh, sir, have you seen that new company that is called there is a hyphen there, passive.com? Wow, that is so, I don't know, just think about it. There is a hyphen, then passive.com. It doesn't sound right? If that was the case that our CEO did not just say onpassive.com, he was putting all the hyphens, it would be so terrible because so many people will not be in ONPASSIVE like now. But if we want to talk about ONPASSIVE to everybody, we just say onpassive.com. It's so easy, right? To type it, to spell it. I mean, avoiding the hyphens. So consider also using keywords that reflects your business, okay? For instance, I was talking about a fashion designer, or I was talking about a fish producer, the fisherman. So the fisherman, I will go as a fish. I will say Nairobi eveningfish.ai. So I'm a fisherman. That's what my business is, right? So it reflects my business. So it's easy to remember those ones, okay? Now, you should think long-term instead of short-term. What does that mean? So, for instance, you started your business with fashion designing. After, you want to add the fish business there. So a good name for that one will be, if you think that in the future you have to expand into any other different areas, you can just say fish trading or fish services. When you say services, it means you can do so many other things and incorporate them to that business that you have. Okay, or you can just say utility services. So when you add the word services, it brands it that you can go any kind of business when you do services or incorporated and things like that, right? So we should be mindful of that too. Now, you should also check if those domain names that you want to use, they already have trademarks that some people have already used them. If you want to go use other people's own, definitely our system is artificial intelligence. It will pick it up and tell you cannot use it because other people have done so. But in other places, you will not have that opportunity. But in ONPASSIVE, we will have the opportunity because we have artificial intelligence, which is working everything out for us, so for our own good. Now, the last one is if the domain name, you can use domain name generators when you are stuck, okay? That means that if you are stuck, what do we mean by stuck? You don't want to work with your head. You have done, so much to calculate it, to get the one that you want to get, and you are not getting it. So what will happen is you will go and just use a domain name generator. We have some of them that we can talk about them with your leaders. If they want, we will share the information with you and you people will get it. So that is how easy a domain name is. But you should also know that in ONPASSIVE, everything is done for you. So why worry? If the system gives you or propose a domain name for you, just take the domain name and we work with that to keep, too much on your head for nothing. Our systems are automated and they will work for us with artificial intelligence and security that we have in our environment. All of us will succeed. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Ms. Lynn. Thanks, Gladys.
Thank you very much. Awesome, very informative, and also simplified so that everybody can understand. So I appreciate it very, very much, Engineer Mike. Appreciate you. At this time, we have about 15 minutes left of this webinar, and I wanted to give a couple people an opportunity to speak for a few minutes. First of all, Oliver Fonte, who is an IT professional. Would you like to say a few words, Oliver? Can unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. What a great presentation, Michael, and great people in the house, and all the winners in the house. I guess this guest webinar, and it's a pleasure to be here and with my Kenyan brothers and sisters. What I want to say about ONPASSIVE is this: a company that you own with a free domain account, a free website, a company that will not go to the stock market, a company that you come to be not only a partner, a founder, a reseller, and a customer. A company that's worth $5.5 billion today. So tell me, the first day of launch, how much are we going to make? First month of launch, how much are we going to make? A company that the history, a revolutionary company that will open the doors with 1.2 million customers. Tell me why you don't want to join. A company that it is an IT company, not only IT company with viable products. Tell me who will not want to join. A company that you pay just $97 plus $5 for bank charges, and the value that is going to bring to you is a guarantee traffic, a guarantee success. Tell me why you don't want to join. I will say this, and I will beg anybody that is here today that has not registered or to become a founder. If it's to go and borrow, I will guarantee you, go and borrow that $97. Look at me into my eyes as I'm talking to you now. It will not fail you. Go and borrow that $97. Tomorrow, you give me a cold water to drink. Go and borrow. Those who don't have money, I know back home we don't have that kind of money. 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people can join and get one account. Share it when the money starts coming in. This is how far I can go to promise or to tell people you are in a business that you will succeed. You will succeed. The traffic is there. The products are viable. There are products that you also use. ONET is there for us to use. I don't have that much to say since we are running out of time, but I just want to say, please come on board. If you come on board within 1 week, 2 weeks, you don't like it, your money will be refunded back to you, or you get your money back. Tell me any company. You come to ONPASSIVE, your website is on your name, your domain account is on your name. When you go to Microsoft, Amazon, and the rest, Google, Facebook, you go back to www.google.com, www.microsoft.com. But this, you come back to your own domain account. You own it. You own it. I've never owned a business in my life, but I'm so excited to own a business and to be a founder. Thank you.
Thank you. And while we're at it, we have a question that, Oliver, you can answer. The question in the chat is, can my domain name be changed later after registering?
I beg your pardon? I didn't get the question, Lynn.
Oh, The person, Eric Bet from Kenya asked, can the domain name be changed later after registering? Unmute. You need to unmute. You're muted.
Okoliva, you are muted, please.
You're muted.
Can you
Yeah,
get me now?
good now. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Once your domain name has been registered, you cannot change it. You can only sell it. It cannot be changed. You can only sell it. If you have a domain name with GoDaddy, you want to come to ONPASSIVE, you can transfer it over. Yes, you transfer it, but that they should change it is impossible. You can only sell it and then own another and then get a new domain account.
Thank you. That's a
You're
clear
welcome.
answer. Thank you very much. Right. Next, we have Cindy Hopkins. I would like to give her the floor if she would like to say a few words. Go ahead, Cindy, unmute yourself. Cindy, are you there?
I certainly am.
Great.
It's just great information. I mean, I'm loving it. And that was a perfect answer on that domain. And you know, that is the other alternative you folks have is you know, domains are very easy to sell. If it's a simple name, that is vital that you keep it simple and all of that. I want to thank everybody that spoke today. I mean, I'm just learning. Each time I learn a little bit of something. And of course, I'm looking at all these wonderful founders here. And, you know, you're just doing the right thing, paying attention to as much as you can, because all you got to do is just show up. Just show up, do your job, log in. Don't stress over anything, because of course our wonderful CEO has promised us that they will market for us. They will do everything. You don't have to be techie. Thank goodness for me, because I am anything but techie. And I always appreciate it. I always love Chris Johnson because he says the same thing. And what's more for me, I don't really want to learn to be techie, maybe my age, maybe whatever. I don't know. I'm going to cop out here, but I don't want to have to stuff more into my little pea brain. And so I love the fact that I don't have to do all that. The company's going to do all for you. And that's pretty darn incredible to me. And so you bet you just keep focused, be happy. And I couldn't agree more with all those folks out there, you know, the folks that say, you know, this always bothered me before when companies or representatives of a company would tell you to just borrow to get into something. But I so totally agree with that philosophy with co-founders, because those founder positions, when they go away, they will never, ever be offered to the world again. And the only way you could acquire one is to buy one from an existing founder. And believe me, I mean, it's going to be very quick, in my opinion, that each account is going to be worth thousands and tens of thousands. It will escalate quite quickly, I believe, to tens of thousands and then even hundreds of thousands of dollars as time progresses, and I think in a very, very short time. So pay attention to that, folks. If there's any way at all that you can afford, even getting a founder position that you intend to gift to someone later, you know, as long as they do their job and they prove themselves, you know, that's a great way to bring somebody in. Plus, they have their own circle and they would notify them, you know, so get that caring in your heart. But most founders already have that, and just follow your heart and you'll do incredibly well. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for sharing. We have about 10 minutes, actually 9 minutes left. So we're going to go ahead and have Marie Pendy say a few words. Go ahead, Marie.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I was very impressed with Gladys's presentation, and also Mike and Oliver. You guys did a great job. We are here to learn. My question is for either Oliver or for Mike. During the presentation, you talked about domain names, and you also spoke about branding a domain name, or you can use a generic name. Could you take a few minutes to explain what, or to give me an example of a generic name and an example of a brand name, so that those of us who are founders here and also those who are guests will be enlightened by your explanation? Thank you.
Thank you. Who would like to take it?
I'll
Keep
take
in
it.
mind, we have 8 minutes left. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I'll take it. So when we talk about domain names, which are generic, and the ones that are branded, this is how it is. No, when it is generic, it is something that people have done it forever and ever and ever and ever. It's like a pattern, okay? It's like a pattern. So let's say the generic would be the ones that can come to you by default, okay? Can come to you by default. Or, for instance, we have already some generic domain names that we know: .com, .re, .edu, .net, .org, .gov. Those are ones that we already know. Those are generic. So the branded ones are the ones that we will create them. Like I said, if I'm selling my fish, I'm a fisherman down beach right down beach in Nairobi, I will say evening fish or evening fish.ai. That's one that I am the brander. I branded that one. I gave it myself. So the generic one is those ones that we already know, that are already existing. And the branded one are the ones that you will select for yourself. You will give to yourself. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Hopefully, does that answer your question? Marie, you good? All right. All right. So thank you very much. So we are going to now wrap it up. I'm going to let Gladys take the floor now to wrap it up.
Hello again. Thank you very much. This was a very productive meeting. We have it every Saturday, same time. So you are all welcome again. We still have a guest webinar on Tuesdays. If you have more guests, you can always contact us or any leader on how to get that link. It's a corporate guest webinar, but remind them that after they finish attending the meeting, they should get in touch with you so that you help them through the registration process to make sure everything goes on smooth. And I thank all the leaders who participated here today. Thanks to Mari, who always helps us. Thanks to Bill Mast, who helped us with a beautiful graphic. Thank you so much for all the founders who attended here, because you are the reason that we are here. And again, to wrap up, let's try again, share this opportunity because the time is running out. We expect the big news to be announced by our CEO, Ash Mupare, anytime, saying it is over, no more founders coming in. It was supposed to be over a few months ago, but we begged, we asked for more time so that we can get our loved ones in. So let's make use of the time that is remaining. Thank you very much. On the chat, someone posted a question about the password. That's since she's a founder already, that's a founder question. And I've replied, I'm willing to work with that person. Emily, get in touch with me. We try to help that person to be able to access back to her office. Thank you so much. I'm done. Love you all. Thank you for coming. And we have Julie and Milo at 2 o'clock, which is going to be nice for your pastors, for the churches, for the musicians, anybody who is church related. You know, tell the pastors to come on so that they don't only, they always depend on what we give them, because not many of them, especially in Africa, I can speak for Kenya, who have businesses. So this is a business that they can continue doing their work of being pastors, serving the servants of God, and still owning a business, earning income to do the work that they love to do, especially charity. And tell them about All Bless. Let them not be left out. Thank you so much. Lynn, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Gladys. So on behalf of Gladys and myself, we want to thank you all for being here. You can now unmute yourselves and say aloha to each other, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Terrific webinar. Thank you. Aloha, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
Bless
you.
you
Bye,
all.
everyone. Hey, big bro.
Thank you, Engineer Mike, Cindy, everybody, Tina, Joanna. I can sing all of you, Bill Master, everybody. Thank you. We truly appreciate Eric, Baraza, all the founders from Kenya. We love you.
Thank you, everyone.
We love it too, Gladys.
Thank you. Love you guys.
We do. We're all connected, folks. Remember that. We are all connected. God bless you all.
Absolutely,
God bless you too,
Cindy.
Cindy. God bless everyone.
Thank you.
Love to you all.
Aloha.
Thank you
Peace.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Peace.
Take care,
Peace.
everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.